Man, I tell you, boy, shout out to the War Machine, Brittany Neiman on this. I tell you, Brittany, you knew, okay? You knew when you showed me this video. You knew that Candace Owens is getting it, okay? She finna get it. First of all, have y'all noticed something? Why does this woman get on camera? Okay, millions of people are gonna watch this video. And she get on here like she just woke up out of bed, ain't washed her stinking ass, breath stink, and you know your hair look like somebody done stuck your tongue in an electrical outlet, and you start God dog, Candace, you got to do better than this. You got to do better than this. This gonna make roasting you so much more easier. It's gonna make it so much more easier. You know, this woman probably is the most disgusting human being on God's green earth. This is a dog, straight up. And all she do is she waiting for a doggy treat. That's old Candace Owens. Well, the coach is going to give the coach's famous commentary. And, you know, there it is. Let's go.
Hello, Facebook.
Yuck.
Haven't done a video in a while, and I wanted to be sure to insert my opinion about this very viral case of Ahmad Arbery, who was being dubbed as just a jogger by the media.
He was jogging.
And I just kind of want to talk about really just the media's role in propaganda and how upsetting it is to me that Black America always seems to take the bait.
So, Candace, what bait are we taking? What bait are we taking? I mean, are we taking a bait that another unarmed black man has been killed, Candace? Is that the bait we taking? I mean, I guess you always take the bait. Okay, you always take the bait of always trying to condemn black people. Candace, have you looked in the mirror? Have you looked in the mirror? Well, not at your hair. And not at this dirty white t-shirt you got, Candace. No, we're not talking about that. Have you looked at your skin tone lately? Candace, you're black. And this is another unarmed black man that's been killed without reason. But I know you're going to try to provide a reason, okay? Because you always do. Whenever an unarmed black man, an unarmed black person, period, get killed, you always seem to fix your mouth to give a reason why the person was killed. That's okay. Wait for it.
I have to say, this case, after all of the work that I have done these last 3 or 4 years to wake Black America up.
Who are you waking up? Candace, you ain't wake Black America up. We already woke. We already know, Candace, that if we reach for our ID and our license and our registration, we're going to get shot. Candace, we already know we can't walk around in the mall or we can't walk in a store because, you know, we can't do these things while being black. Candace, we already know we can't babysit while being black. Candace, we already know we can't barbecue while being black. Candace, we already know that we can't even open carry while being black. Candace, we already know. Continue.
To the fact that every election cycle there is some story that they perpetuate that is supposed to make us think that we are being chased by the Ku Klux Klan. And yet here we are, a couple of months away from an election, and there are black people running around saying that we are being lynched in Georgia. So let's just start with...
So, Candace, what's involved in a lynching? Okay, first of all, you have to be accused of a crime. Candace, let's go back and do history. You have to be accused of a crime, and a lot of times you didn't have to be accused of a crime. It's just sometimes the people that were doing the lynching, you know, these people, what they would do is that they would just see somebody they didn't like of another race, mostly black. Now, I have to say there have been more people than just black people being lynched, but the majority of them been black. And then you get a posse together. In this situation, Candace, it wasn't a posse. Okay, it was two, but they both got their guns and they hunted down the prey. Now, Candace, I know that you're a woman of information and facts. I know you are. These two white men that lynched this boy, because they did lynch him, they said that, hey, there's been a lot of break-ins in the area. But Candace, come to find out, there hadn't been a lot of break-ins in the area as of late. How do you explain that? Nah, Candace. Continue.
Just the case and how it's been being reported. So first you are hearing that it is a modern day lynching. That should instantly, if you are a Black American and American, make your ears perk up a little bit, because there are not really modern day lynchings that are taking place in America. There are not lynchings taking place in general. I mean, even at the time, at the height of the civil rights movement, when Black people were actually being lynched. It was approximately 3,500 Black people that were lynched from the entire period of 1882 all the way up until 1968.
So let me get this right. Only 3,500. Hey, Candace, how many of the other races were lynched? I mean, you didn't include that data. No, you didn't include that data. You wouldn't do that. More Black people were lynched, Candace. More Black people. You had a few Italians. You had some Asians. You had some Hispanics. But the overwhelming majority of people that were lynched was Black. And you say only 3,500, like that's a small number. That's a lot of people being hanged. That's a lot of people, having their genitals cut off. That's a lot of people being castrated. That's a lot of people being stabbed to death. That's a lot of people being stabbed. That's a lot of people being shot, Candace. That's a lot of people being chopped up. Rosewood actually happened too, Candace. I guess you forgot about Rosewood. I guess you forgot about Black Wall Street, Candace. God, dog. There's a case that I want y'all to look at, okay? And it's the case of Otisburg. Okay, since Candace don't seem to believe that there are no modern day lynchings, there's a case called Otisburg, okay? And to make a long story short, he was accused, okay, in 1980, of killing somebody. He got out, out of jail. And when he got out of jail back in 2006, 2007, they found him hanging from a tree. What's that all about? Go look up the case of Otisburg. Black man in Mississippi that they found hanging from a tree. Go look it up. Go look it up. Wow. Amazing. Dang, Candace. Continue.
All right, so that's actually a very low number relative, not saying that lynching is okay,
number.
Obviously, but a very low number relative to the population that we had at that time, or the population that we had all the way up until 1968. So lynchings are not common in general.
So what about the people, that weren't discovered? What about all the people that were lynched and that were killed, that they got buried? They got buried in unmarked graves. What about those people? A lot of people were killed. Lots and lots of people were killed. Lots and lots of people were dismembered. Lots and lots of people were burned. They were cremated. So, no, Candace, we're not going to find those people. Continue. Damn idiot.
The idea that people are going around lynching people in 2020 America, you can already know and you can smell that something is wrong with the story. All right, so before I even saw the video, because I just was interested in the reaction to see how far people were going to take it, I saw that LeBron James issued a tweet, which, quite frankly, must have been the dumbest thing I have ever read. The tweet was that we are literally, we meaning Black people, we are literally being hunted as soon as we walk outside of our own homes. So this is either laugh out loud funny or really stupid.
Okay, Candace. Now, let's bring a little bit of validity to what LeBron said. Okay, we are being hunted down. Did you forget about Dylan Roof? He went to that church, hunted all those Black people down and killed them all. Y'all forget about that. Did you forget about George Zimmerman? Okay, Trayvon Martin left his house. He was hunted down by George Zimmerman. Ahmad Arbery, he was out on the job. He was hunted down. Oh, and by the way, when you don't say that Ahmad Arbery got lynched, how do you explain the McMichael dad? Okay, the elder McMichael. This man was at a KKK rally. Now, why do they put people at KKK rallies? And he also had on his little KKK getup. Why do you think that he was there at that rally? I mean, is there a reason why he would be wearing his little KKK getup? I call it a KKK suit. He was there marching. He was happy, smiling. Why would he be marching with the Ku Klux Klan?
In my opinion, it's both. LeBron James doesn't even touch his own car door handles. LeBron James is currently building a multi-million-dollar, $100 million estate in Bel Air right now. And LeBron James has a white chef. He's got white housekeepers. LeBron James is somebody that has white people waiting on him hand and foot because he is successful and he has a lot of money, and that's what comes with money and success. So the idea that he is out there perpetuating some idea that Black Americans are literally being hunted for walking outside of their out of their doors is pointedly ridiculous and should have made everybody go, okay, this is really dumb.
So because LeBron James got white people working for him, the idea that LeBron proposed is stupid. So because LeBron got white people working for him, Candace, it is what you're saying, okay? You're literally saying that. You sound like a damn fool, okay? Why don't you talk about the stuff that LeBron do in the community? Hey, Candace, are you going to talk about that school that LeBron is building? I mean, Candace, are you going to do that? Are you going to talk about the millions of dollars that LeBron James, he actually donates to charities for kids that don't have? Ah, come on, Candace, you got to do better than that. You got to do better than that, and go get a comb.
So I finally look at the video. I'm expecting, based on all of the rhetoric, on all of the articles, which is saying that it's an example of a modern lynching, I'm fully expecting to see a video of a mob of white people, maybe with a rope, maybe with some guns, just marching down the street towards a Black person so that they can kill him and make a mockery of him. That's what you should have expected based on the rhetoric that was perpetuating, and everybody was outraged left and right because of this 10-second clip. What I actually saw watching the video left me with more questions than answers. First and foremost, he was not being pursued in the video, obviously. It looked like he was running towards the car, and then when the two people who had guns, he went around and he attacked the person. So that actually left me with a lot of questions.
Candace, what question can you have? First of all, what is he going to do? Run from the bullets? What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Like, literally, what is he going to do? Okay? Now, obviously, there had to be some words exchanged. Okay? Had to be a lot of words exchanged, but what do you think he's going to do in that situation? Okay? What do you think would have happened if he would have tried to run and turn the other way? What do you think would have happened? See, at that instant moment, if somebody had got a gun drawn out on me, Candace, okay, I don't know about you, but I know you ain't no street girl. But if somebody got a gun drawn out on me, I'm instantly thinking that they're going to try to kill me. What do you think would have happened with Ahmad Arbery, Candace, if he would have tried to run? You know, they just would have got back in their truck and they would have chased this man down, and eventually they would have done the inevitable. They would have done the inevitable. Ahmad Arbery had to fight right there. He almost had to. He wasn't going to get away from him. Okay? I mean, where's he going to run on that street? Yeah, you got a lot of questions, you dumbass.
Of like, what is going on in this circumstance? Who is recording this video? Because the person who was recording the video was obviously catching up to the situation. He hadn't been trailing this person. And I just wanted to know, how did everybody watch this 10-second clip and instantly think that this person was completely just a jogger who was being lynched? I don't even understand how that came across. Secondly, I noticed in the video and after reading reports that he's wearing khaki shorts. So just an easy question to ask is, if you are just a jogger and he is being described in the media as an avid jogger, this is something he does all the time. I do not know any avid joggers that jog in khaki shorts. Now, again, that's a question. That is not insinuating anything. It just is saying that if you looked at the video, you probably should have had more questions.
Candace, I know you're not a street girl. Black dudes play basketball in khaki shorts. The shorts are loose. If you look at the shorts he had on, they were loose enough. They play basketball, and black dudes play basketball in khaki shorts. Touch football. Ahmad Arbery was an athlete, okay? You can jog in a pair of khaki shorts. The shorts he had on a t-shirt, Candace. Did you forget about that? Khaki shorts and a t-shirt. And guess what, Candace? He had on tennis shoes. Not everybody's going to wear a pair of jog pants. Not everybody's going to wear a pair of Under Armour, running shorts, okay? Candace, it's comfortability. So you're saying, okay, first of all, he didn't have anything in his pockets anyway, Candace. That's number one. He had nothing in his pockets. But obviously you didn't grow up around the hood. You didn't grow up around the hood, because if you did, you would retract this stupid-ass comment. Continue.
Questions than answers, and yet the media and everybody was issuing a verdict that this was some crazy situation where a couple of white people woke up and thought, you know what, today I want to lynch a black person, and I think this is the right guy. I see someone, let's go for it. Let's get in our pickup bed and go find ourselves a black person. That was actually just made no sense, but people rarely pause to think because people are desperate to fall.
Well, Candace, again, you look like a damn fool again, okay? They did wake up. they saw a black person, and they said that this black person was trying to steal from a construction site, which he was not. Okay, many people look in old abandoned. You look inside to see to see what's in them. Okay, people do it. Even white people do this. Okay, and they look at the structure of the house to see what kind of house is going to be built. I don't know why people do this. Okay, I don't know why, but people do look inside of abandoned houses. Okay, so with that being said, and what you just said, it just don't really make a lot of sense. They woke up that morning. Okay, they woke up, and no, they probably didn't wake up and think, hey, let me kill a black person. They probably thought that, but when they saw a black person, by the way, Candace, they knew, they saw him. They knew that Ahmad Arbery lived in their neighborhood. They knew this. They knew it. They've been knowing for years. This guy has lived in the neighborhood. So now all of a sudden they see Ahmad jogging, and now he's a burglar. Candace, no burglaries in the area as of late, Candace. My God, aren't you a person that do your facts, your research? Go get a comb.
Foster this race narrative in this country, and because there's not many examples of people being lynched or black people being pursued on foot by white people, the media really drummed this one up. Instantly should have been asking.
It's not? So there are no examples of black people being pursued on foot by white people? Okay, what about Mr. Darren Tolles? What about him? What about, him trying to get into his own house? And this white woman, she followed him up to his apartment. I mean, how do you explain that? White people don't pursue black people? George Zimmerman pursued Trayvon Martin. How do you explain this, Candace? Come on. I mean, let's just keep going. White people don't pursue black people. And what about the gentleman who was babysitting some white children? This woman followed this man, followed him. Okay, saw him at what, a Walmart? And then she walked up and asked the kids, are the kids okay? The kids said, yeah, they okay. Then this white woman, start following this black man. Okay, followed him, called the police as she was following him. And then the police came and questioned this black man for babysitting 2 white children. But white people don't pursue black people. Shut up. Go get a comb.
Ourselves, is this guy just a jogger? That was sort of bottom line. I thought there's no way this guy was just jogging. And then you hear that the people that actually shot him had called 911. So for everybody that is saying that this person was murdered, I can tell you right now, no matter how upset you are, this is not going to amount to a murder charge. The legal definition of a murder.
Well, you're wrong there, Candace. They've already been charged with murder. You nappy-headed scepter, they already been charged.
You have to be able to prove that this was meditated, that there was some element of meditation. People do not call the cops before they murder someone. That is just not what somebody does. You don't pick up the phone and say...
Hold on, Candace. George Zimmerman did. Sure did. These guys did. What? They picked up the phone. And the cops told them, okay, is he doing anything? They were like, no. See, Candace, your whole narrative is dead. They asked the cops. Okay, the cops asked him, well, is he doing anything? They said no. They said he just looked suspicious. Candace, how do you explain this, okay? How do you explain this? Like, you educated. You're supposed to be a woman, who, just very intelligent. Right now, you seem dumber than a frog sitting on a lily pad on a hot summer day trying to take a piss in the water. God, dog. And this is so much fun. This is so much fun because I get to sit here. First of all, I get to roast you. Okay, I get to sit back and roast you because you sound dumb. Okay, and eventually, I'm telling you now, eventually, people like you gonna get got. Okay, and I hate to say that. I hate to say it because it's not something that I would want to see. I would never want to see anything happen to Candace Owens. But I tell you, man, certain people like Candace Owens, you're going to enrage people. Some people, they're not going to care. See, people like you guys talk about these black people that get killed, and y'all think they ain't got no family. And some people, they losing their loved ones, and that's all they got. So they don't care about dying. They don't care about going to jail anymore. You are a disgrace, Candace.
say, hi, 911, I'm about to go out and commit a murder. That doesn't make any sense, okay? Obviously, something went wrong, so this will amount and can amount to a manslaughter charge, maybe a manslaughter conviction, but this is not going to amount to a murder conviction, okay? He was not the only person that called 911.
Yeah, Candace. It is going to amount to a murder conviction, no matter what you say. But see, really what you want to say is, they're two white gentlemen. That's what you want to say, they're white. So, of course, it's not going to lead to a murder conviction. That's what you want to say, but continue.
Multiple people throughout the neighborhood called 911 because they were reporting seeing a person entering in a property that was not theirs, that was under construction. Now, I've seen people who first said that this was all a lie and he was just a jogger, now pivot and say, okay, he just liked to look around at architecture in the neighborhood and that was a thing. Well, first and foremost, okay, just a jogger wearing khakis who decides to stop in the middle of a jog to go onto a property that isn't his and enter in a construction site, a garage or a house, whatever it is that was under construction, and go in and expects nobody to raise a red flag. That's pointedly ridiculous. What I hate about this, and what I always hate about, when Black America gets behind an issue like this, is that we can never argue and be reasonable. We can never say, okay, you know what?
What kind of reason do you need? What kind of reason do you need? Oh, you know what? I guarantee you, if it had been the other way around, you'd be trying to justify, how to get the black person drum up on charges. What kind of reasoning do we need, Candace? We don't need any reasoning. You know the reasoning we need? Here it is. It said they killed him in cold blood, Candace. Are you stupid? Are you really this much of a damn idiot? Okay? What kind of reasoning do you need? You need any other reasoning? They called the police. The police asked these guys, hey, is he doing anything? They said no. He just looked suspicious. Okay. What next? The police didn't tell him to pursue. They pursued. They did it on their own, Candace. And they killed him. See, I know you're not from the hood, because if somebody pull out a gun, what are you going to do, Candace? You going to beg for your life? Ahmad Arbery, he was a fighter. My goodness, continue.
He should not have been on the property, because he shouldn't have. You should never be trespassing on someone's property. We should not be pretending that it's normal behavior to walk through construction sites, especially when there are no construction workers there in a private neighborhood. It's not like it was a building being built. It was on a quiet street. You walk up on somebody's property. He's not jogging in the video. He's walking slowly onto the property, and you enter a building. Of course, people are going to start to call 911. Okay, that escalated the situation in just his action of deciding to enter a property.
It don't matter if he walked into the property, jogged into the property, you damn idiot. The fact of the matter is, he didn't deserve to die that day, Candace. What don't you understand? You dumb ass idiot. I'm telling you. Somebody gonna put hands on this girl. Somebody gonna do it. And I know she make people mad enough to do it. What don't you understand? It don't matter. It don't matter. Candace, people go into construction sites sometimes, and it don't even matter if he wasn't supposed to be there. These guys, they hunted him down like an animal, and they killed him.
While he was on a jog in khaki pants, obviously, escalated the situation, and people were calling 911. Then you have this guy who they start calling 911, and this guy who says he's going to make a citizen's arrest calls 911, gives them a description, and gets in his car with his son and has a shotgun. If the point of the debate that people were having was whether or not that action was smart, whether or not making a citizen's arrest is a good idea, you would probably find that everyone sort of agrees that it's not really the best thing to do. Calling 911 is usually enough. If I saw someone entering a property and I didn't think they lived there, I would call 911 and I would leave it alone. But that is not the argument that people are making. They are calling this a modern day lynching. They are calling this as something being motivated by race. This is not motivated by race. The second you call 911 and you're entering another property, the motivation behind somebody trying to figure out who you are in their neighborhood is not racially motivated.
Candace, argument dead. Your argument is dead. Look, this man walking in a Ku Klux Klan rally, you're racially dead. All that's done. Okay, that's just done. You can forget about that. If you don't think this is racially motivated, you're a damn fool, and you about as dumb as your nappy ass head. Listen. You can make that argument if McMichael wasn't spotted at a KKK rally. Okay, you can make that argument. But you can't, Candace. You can't make the argument. The man's a racist. How do you explain that?
It's because you do not own the property that you are on. There is no reason for people to be injecting race into this narrative. Argue it on the basis of whether you think a citizen's arrest is valid. Argue it on the basis of whether you think that Ahmad Arbery deserved to die. I don't see a single person who has made the argument that they think that this man deserved to die.
You don't think he deserved to die, but you really don't care that he died. And matter of fact, you don't think he probably deserved to die, but you're giving us reasons why you think he died. Like, it's the same thing. It's just as bad. Golly. You know what? Nobody, no black person in America should follow Candace Owens. None.
But arguing it on the basis and pretending that this was racially motivated, it's stupid. I mean, it's incredibly stupid.
You're stupid.
Beyond that, when people like LeBron James perpetuate this idea that black people are being murdered and hunted by white people, it defies common sense because it goes against every statistic.
LeBron didn't say all white people. Okay? He didn't say that. What we're seeing, and here's the thing, and this is why I really want to talk about this, okay? No, not all white people are murdering black people. That's not what LeBron said. What LeBron said is too many unarmed black men are being killed. That's what he said. Okay, too many unarmed black men, too many unarmed black people are being killed. Too many. Okay, and it just so happens that they're being killed by white people. Okay, mainly white police officers. Tamir Rice, he was killed. 12-year-old. They ain't even tell him to put the gun down. They got out and started shooting at him. I mean, how the heck do you explain that? I mean, is that just something that just happened out the blue? Okay. Alton Sterling, he couldn't breathe. How do you explain that? Oh, let me guess. You're going to say that he was out selling cigarettes. And that's the reason why they choked him to death, because he was selling cigarettes. Or how about Sandra Bland? I got it, Candace. How about Philando Castile?
In America. We have a culture issue in Black America because we constantly accept this lie that somehow we're the societal victims. When in fact, when you look at the stats, if you want to start playing the race game, we're going to be the ones that look bad. We represent 13% of the population, but we account for approximately 40% of all of the murders in this country. Whereas white people account for 61% of the population, more than half of the population, and they commit less murders than we do. You can't just go around pretending that.
So Candace, let me get it right. 61% of the population, huh? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Hey, and you got a point, Candace. I like that. You got a point. 61% of the population, but, again, most of the murders that you see are unarmed black people. Mainly unarmed black men. I mean, do you want to break it down into category? Okay. Do you know that an unarmed black man is 2 times more likely to be killed than unarmed any other race? I mean, did you know that, Candace? Of course you don't. Well, oh no, what am I saying? Of course, Candace Owens, you know everything.
We are the people that are constantly being oppressed and are the people that are constantly, being hunted down when we...
Are we not being oppressed? I mean, did you see what's going on with black people in China? Did you not see that? Did you not see what's going on with the black folks over in China? Okay, they can't go to the doctor. They can't go to the grocery store. They got put out their house. Oh, man. How do you explain this, Candace? Okay, and it seems like, it just seems like to me that every other race, they actually get treated better than black people as a whole. Now, I'm not saying that, black people, I'm not saying that black people, or I'm not saying that every other race, everybody in that race. I'm talking about the people that you see on TV. Because really, if you want to think about it, Candace, the news media only talk about they only talk about the worst things. Okay, they don't talk about like everything as a whole. They talk about the worst things. So what you're seeing on TV really isn't an account for the whole population. That's like me trying to blame, like if one white person say something racist, that's like me trying to blame the whole race of white people for one person. You can't do that. What you're doing is you're also stereotyping your own people. That's what you're doing. And you're doing a darn good job of it.
know that black people kill white people at 2 times a higher rate than the other way around. And I'm not saying this, by the way, to say all black people are horrible, and that's not the purpose of this.
That's
the
what you're
purpose
saying,
is to
Candace.
have a more honest conversation
Let's
about what is going
conversation.
on in this country. The purpose is that...
So having an honest conversation with you means that we got to look at your viewpoints, okay? Having an honest conversation. Hey, Candace, I'm pretty sure that you know and understand that the racial slurs, that the racial climate here in America is bad. But I guess, the police being called on black people for doing normal day-to-day activities. I guess the police being called on black people for doing normal day-to-day activities. I guess I guess to you, that wasn't, it's not race-based, right? It's not a racial motivation. Wasn't a racial motivation why the woman called the police on the woman or the little girl that's selling bottled water, right? No, that wasn't racial motivation. Wasn't racial motivation when a woman followed the black man up to his apartment. That wasn't racial motivation, was it? It wasn't racial motivation that, Barbecue Becky decided to call the police on a group of black men that are barbecuing. Okay, when, you're allowed to barbecue in the park. But that wasn't motivated by racial motivation. Okay, or, South Park Susan, who came over and started cussing at these women and calling them, these black women, and calling them racial slurs. But that wasn't motivated by it wasn't motivated by racism either, right? Yeah.
Every single time a murder happens, it doesn't mean that it's racially motivated. Sometimes things just go wrong. Obviously, a lot of stuff went wrong in that video that we saw. That 10-second clip of that person running. A lot of things went wrong. First and foremost, I bet the person who had the gun wasn't expecting him to be lunged at. Obviously, if he was out to hunt the black.
And I guess Ahmad Arbery wasn't expecting somebody to pull a gun out on him when he's taking a jog down the street, Candace.
Person, okay, he would have shot him at a distance. When you're out hunting, you don't wait for the thing that you're hunting to grab your gun and go back and forth.
Candace, you're an idiot. They got shotguns. That's not a long-range weapon, you idiot. Okay? You have to get in the mid-range to fire a shotgun.
Obviously, we're not going to be able to prove the standard that he wanted to hunt him, but wanted to wait until the guy grabbed his gun and went and wanted to wrestle with him. That just defies common sense. If he wanted to kill the guy, he would have fired off a couple of shots before he got anywhere near.
Okay, Candace, they tried to make a citizen's arrest. So basically, they told the guy, okay, listen, you under arrest. And they pulled their gun out. First of all, Candace, these two good old boys, they're not cops. They didn't have a right to pull a gun out on somebody, okay? It was a threat. They pretty much told him, and I'm quoting, they pretty much said to this guy, listen, okay, we're going to arrest you. Don't do anything. We got our guns. Why do you think they got the guns out? If Ahmad Arbery made any moves, guess what they were going to do? They were going to shoot him, okay? If he'd have tried to run and go the other way, they were going to follow him, and they were going to shoot him, okay? What don't you understand? You're sitting here justifying, you're giving excuses why these two guys, okay, you're actually legitimizing them having a reason to kill Ahmad Arbery. Candace, we see what you're doing. Cut it out. Cut the crap out. You idiot. Go get a comb.
Him. I think he wanted to make the guy stop, and intimidate him and wait for the cops to get there because
he wanted to make the guy stop. Well, he didn't stop, Candace. You know why? Because they're not cops. Guess what cops got, Candace? They got tasers. That's right. They got a taser for somebody lunging at them. Now, they were intimidated. You're trying to explain. You're justifying it. You're justifying it. And guess what? It's going to be your turn one day, Candace. And you're going to get caught up. And ain't nobody going to be able to help you.
He was convinced that this was the guy that was recently burglarizing his home. Unfortunately, Ahmad Arbery, who has a history, of crime, lunged at him, and things went off from there.
Well, Candace, and recently, okay, the McMichaels, they have a history of being at KKK rallies, but you didn't talk about that, did you?
And it's unfortunate that, this person ended up dead in a situation that didn't need to ever, culminate into a death. But
I agree with that.
What's going to happen is it's going to be a manslaughter charge, and the defense is going to argue for self-defense. He might entirely get off on a self-defense,
And you would love that. You would love that.
Claim in this case.
See, you would like that because you probably think that Ahmad Arbery was just another black person up to no good, and if he dies, he dies.
Because, like I said, Arbery did charge him. You can see the scuffle. You did charge him. Now, I'm not saying he should. I'm saying he could.
Does that deserve a death? Does that deserve a death? Wait, he charged him? Okay. See, these guys, let me tell you something. These guys attending these rallies, these KKK rallies, they cowards. They ain't got no hands. They ain't got no hands. So, what happened to the days of fighting it out? If they really wanted them, they'd have fought hand to hand. But no, they didn't want to do that. They shot him.
So save your outrage for when that likely or could happen. From everything that I'm seeing of people perpetuating this and pretending that, this is anything more than just election fodder. When our media declined, they all had the video of him trespassing on property, and none of them published the video until yesterday because they want Black Americans angry. They want Black Americans.
No, Black Americans see what this is. You don't see what this is, okay? You don't see what this is. Because you're justifying these two guys, and that's what you just did in this whole video. You justified it, okay? You justified these dudes. You didn't talk about these two guys' past. You said nothing. You want to talk about Ahmad Arbery's past, okay? Candace, you're already exposed, okay? Go get a comb.